Listen, I don't want to take anything away from the Game Boy Advance. I mean, that thing has one of the best libraries of any handheld ever. And in the case of GBA model AGS 101, some of the best hardware ever. This is AGS 101 for life, and I want you to know it. We're living in an AGS 101 world, and I'm an AGS 101 girl. But, at the same time, I think there's a lot of GBA games that are really overrated, simply for being GBA games. You see, when that thing came out, it was such a huge leap in handheld gaming in terms of its power that people were sort of blinded by tech. And as a result, a lot of really average GBA games got a lot of really glowing reviews. And perhaps none more glowing, and none more average, than this one. It's Spyro Season of Ice for the Game Boy Advance. So this thing was released back in 2001, just a few months after the GBA launched, which is important when you consider some of the reviews it got. Lots of praise, mostly because games didn't look like this before, not on handhelds. I mean, keep in mind, this was still the Nintendo 64 generation, the Game Boy Color generation. So to have something this pretty and this colorful and this technically advanced on a handheld, it was pretty incredible. But as a result, a lot of reviewers got so caught up with the tech, the game itself didn't seem to matter as much. Case in point, Spyro Season of Ice. Lots of praise for a series of fetch quests with bad controls. Oh, but look at the mermaids! The mermaids, man! Anyway, you play as Spyro. You remember Spyro. He's a purple dragon who used to have a game franchise until he was upstaged by tiny plastic toys. Anyway, he's on a beach, because that's what dragons do, and suddenly there's a balloon floating by with a message. All the fairies are in danger, and since dragons don't clap, Spyro has to go platform. Although, I mean, not really. And that's the thing, this is only a platform in that weird, twisted, late 90s sense of the term. There are technically platforms, as in, like, flat pieces of ground, but it's not like you're ever platforming in the classic sense. This is more like the Rareware definition of 3D platformers, where it's like, hey, you're gonna collect every single thing we tell you to. And, just fucking go collect stuff. It'll be fun. And that's a direct quote from Tim Stamper. Actually, the comparison's pretty fair, because this is like if Donkey Kong 64 were just an isometric GBA game. It would have been exactly like this. There's a hub world, and from there you can access a bunch of different levels. Although, I say different, what I really mean is, oh look, this one has lava, and the other one has water. So they're different aesthetically. But when it comes to their design, they are virtually freaking the same. Everything in this game is the same. You just walk around, spit some fireballs at the occasional enemy, and collect things. If it's in front of you, collect it. That's the game. Fortunately, there are a lot of these levels. There's more than 20 in total. And once in a while, you get these little mini-game levels where you get to fly around and stuff. But 90% of this game is, seriously, just walking around. So each level has a list of fairies you need to save. Some are out in the open, some you have to do stuff for. Like in this level, you have to burn sandcastles. But in this one, you have to burn cactuses. See? That's totally different. Once you get all the fairies, you move on to the next level and do the same thing. Literally, the same thing. Fortunately, the next level is always pretty. This really is a gorgeous game. The colors are really bright and bold, lots of little details. And the only catch with the presentation is that the music's annoying, and the isometric perspective isn't exactly ideal for a D-pad, so it can feel a little clunky at times. But actually, the gameplay's clunky too. I mean, controlling Spyro it's not that great. His jumps are especially weird and stiff. It's one of those games where the camera's too tight, so you have a really limited view of the level, which means it gets a little tough to navigate, especially when every area of the level kind of looks the same. Sometimes, when a new game device comes out and it's really breaking ground from a technical perspective, people get a little excited. And it's understandable. I mean, you think of all the potential, you're amazed by the way games look. Critics are no different. But I think when you look at them years later, that's when you can tell which games were worth the admiration, and which ones really deserved the praise. This one doesn't. Beneath the graphics, Spyro Season of Ice is a boring game about collecting things. Although, they are pretty things. Thanks to our good pal Dylan from Nashville, Tennessee, for sending it in. By Balloon.